Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Riverside Board of Trustees, regular meeting of Thursday, April 4th, 2019. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
President Pro Tem Pollock.
Here.
Trustee Sudovy.
Here.
Trustee Lumsden.
Here.
Trustee Giza.
Here.
Village Manager Francis.
Here.
Village Attorney Mars.
Here.
Also present Village Clerk Haley. Not present this evening, Trustee Peters, Trustee Ballerine, and President Sells.
And actually, before we do the pledge, if we could get as Clerk Haley said, President Sells is absent tonight. If we could get a motion and a second to appoint Trustee Pollock as President Pro Tem for this evening's meeting.
Second.
Voice vote, is that?
Yeah, all in favor?
All in favor, say
Yeah.
aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed? Motion carries.
All right.
Next is Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first order of business is public comments. Are there any residents or anyone in the audience who would like to comment at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on. Reports of village offices. I'd like to go off script for just a second here before we get to the agenda. I would like to, we had an election on Tuesday, and I'd like to thank everyone who came out to vote. I'd especially like to thank those Riverside residents who volunteered to run for office and serve on the RB District Board, and as well as our new trustees, Riverside residents who were elected to District 208, Riverside Brookfield High School, were Bill Durkin, Deanna Zales, and Tom Jacobs. Of course, elected from the village as new trustees who will take office at our first meeting in May were Ed Hannon, Alex Gallegos, and Kristen Evans. So thank you all for volunteering your service to the community. Village President's report. First, I have reading of the Arbor Day proclamation, and I will read that out loud. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas the holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce erosion by topsoil, by wind and water, purify the air and water by reducing pollution, and create plant and wildlife diversity. And whereas trees have been shown to reduce crime, increase property values, reduce heating and cooling costs, and conserve energy use. And whereas trees can beautify our parks and streets, improve the quality of our urban environment, and carry on the tradition planned by the inventive vision of Frederick Law Olmsted. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Village President Benjamin Sells proclaims the day of April 27th, 2019 as Arbor Day in the Village of Riverside, and urges all citizens to plant and care for trees to gladden the heart and promote the protection and care of trees within our community and woodlands. In witness hereof, President Sells has affixed his hand and seal to the Village of Riverside this 4th day of April 2019. Also on the village president's report, there's an ordinance authorizing issuance of a Class C restaurant liquor license for La Estancia, Inc. Is there a motion necessary for that?
Yes.
So I would ask if there's a motion to approve the Class C restaurant liquor license for La Estancia, Inc.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Sudovy. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Sudovy.
Aye.
Trustee Lumsden.
Aye.
Trustee Pollock.
Aye.
Trustee Giza.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next on the agenda, or on reports of village offices, is a motion to create an ad hoc committee to consider proposed attached garage and driveway regulations and appoint commissioners. This is a recommendation from the village president to create an ad hoc committee and to appoint members to that committee. And the members proposed for that committee include Chairman Sander Kaplan, Charles Pipel, Abby Randall, Greg Randall, Scott Lumsden, and Michael Foley. Is there a motion to create the committee and appoint those members to the committee? No, I don't think so. No.
I'm sorry?
Do I have to recuse myself since I'm, okay.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, comments, questions on the motion? If not, I'd ask the clerk to call the roll.
Trustee Sedovy.
Aye.
Trustee Lumsden.
Aye.
Trustee Pollock.
Aye.
Trustee Giza.
And that concludes the village president's report. And next on the agenda is village manager's report.
I do not have a report this evening.
Okay. We'll move on to the consent agenda for tonight's meeting. The following items are on the consent agenda. Sure.
I'd love to take item V off and talk about that one separately if we can, primarily just to learn more information about it.
So item 6B, approved voucher list of bills, April 4th, 2019. V. Oh, I'm
V,
sorry.
the light fixtures
That
for the
makes more
parking lot.
sense. Okay, item V is removed from the consent agenda. So the consent agenda reads as follows, ratify voucher list of bills, March 22nd, 2019. Approve voucher list of bills, April 4th, 2019. C, approve Village Board of Trustees regular meeting minutes, March 7th, 2019. D, file and review town hall meeting summary, January 24th, 2019. E, file and review Economic Development Commission meeting minutes, January 20th, 2019. File and review Historical Commission meeting minutes, January 21st, 2019. File and review Landscape Advisory Commission meeting minutes, February 12th, 2019. File and review Parks and Recreation Board meeting minutes, November 26, 2018. File and review Riverside TV Commission meeting minutes, February 11th, 2019. File and review Community Development Department February 2019 monthly report. File and review Finance Department February 2019 monthly report. File and review Fire Department February 2019 monthly report. File and review Police Department February 2019 monthly report. O, motion to approve a special event application for Riverside Arts Weekend to be held on Saturday and Sunday, May 18th and 19th in Guthrie Park. A resolution awarding a job order contract to F.H. Paskin in the amount of $43,312.46 for rehabilitation of the Guthrie Park Veterans Memorial. Q, a resolution authorizing a $21,212 interfund transfer from the general fund to the capital projects fund to fund future capital expenditures. R, a resolution of the Village of Riverside, Illinois, to authorize the village manager to execute a contract with Lauterbach and Amon for audit services and GASB 74-75 actuarial report for fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018. A resolution authorizing the village manager to enter into an agreement with the Village of Romeoville Fire Academy to facilitate the basic operations firefighter course for an amount not to exceed $21,000. T, a resolution authorizing the provision of commission cards for Riverside Auxiliary Police Corps members and Brookfield Zoo police officers. A resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement by and between the Village of Riverside and Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago for design, construction, and maintenance of the railroad watershed area storm sewer outlet. W, a resolution approving change order number 1 in the amount of $11,760 to the engineering services contract with Christopher B. Burke Engineering Limited for the commuter lot number 1 green parking lot project. Can I get a motion to approve those items read in the consent agenda? Motion by trustee Sedovy. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Gisa. Clerk, roll call, please.
Trustee Sedovy.
Aye.
Trustee Lumsden.
Aye.
Trustee Pollock.
Aye.
Trustee Giza.
Item 6V, a resolution approving change order number 1 in an amount of $126,424.45 to the contract with Chicagoland Paving Contractors, Inc. for parking lot lighting improvements to the Metro commuter lot number 1 green parking lot project. Trustee Lumsden, you had some questions about that.
You're coming up to help answer them, so I appreciate that, Ed. So we've had it, just to be in all transparency, Ed and I have had a chance to talk a little bit about some concerns that I received from village residents in regards to that, so I thought it would be of value to talk about those and just make sure that we do it out in the open and understand what's going on. I think first off, it'd be helpful if we could explain why this is a change order work, what was in the original project, and then why we change order to something. I think that's questions that I received. So I don't know which one's better, but.
Well, the original project was simply a construction project for the parking lot. We did not consider lighting because, we didn't think we had the budget for it. And the bids came in much lower than we expected.
Okay.
As you know, the budget was $1 million and the low bid was $739,000. MWRD has committed a significant amount of that funding, and I understand we also have some other funding from the West Suburban Mass Transit.
Okay.
So then the parking lot was going to be reconstructed, and we've had complaints, I guess you could say, for some time about the low light levels at the commuter lot 1. The police department usually fields those complaints, I guess. They're concerned about, the darkness, the low level of light. And the police department also reports that there's been a number of burglaries, car burglaries over the years. So then we had the funding available after all the bids were in and so on and so forth, and it was just an opportune time, like now or never, really, to improve the lighting. And we're proposing what I will say is kind of a more modern, contemporary parking lot lighting proposal. And we would replace what gas lamp type lights are out there with modern, contemporary lighting.
And again, I think just for those that have called and complained to me a little bit, I think that's where the crux of the concern is that it had the historic light fixtures in there before. I know Chief's back there, but we know that light level is awfully hard to police with. And so we took advantage of the opportunity to get a better fixture. Or a fixture that provides more light. So I think the next thing to talk about a little bit is what the process was of selecting that fixture, and as importantly, like you and I talked about, the Kelvin level of the light. And the Kelvin level, for anybody that doesn't know, it's how warm yellow it is versus how cool blue or gray it is. And in past lighting projects that we've had, we've been trying to lean toward the warmer side, the ones that preservation has had an opportunity. An example would be our bridge, right, coming into town where we spent
20,000 or 2,400 Kelvin.
Yeah, in the lower range of the Kelvins. So I guess the next item would be to describe I think there's 3 types of light fixtures that are proposed in the change order. There's
Yes.
the bollards.
Yes.
There's a historic lamp or historic looking lamp, and then there's the taller, more, use your term, contemporary
Right.
lamp, correct?
Yeah, there are 3, we'll say the contemporary parking lot lights that are proposed to light the parking lot. photometrics have been accomplished to assure that there's appropriate lighting levels. You do have some product information in your agenda packet that shows a fixture that's has a light value of 4,000 Kelvin. That same fixture is also available in 3,000 Kelvin, and that's the one that we're planning to install.
Planning to install 3,000?
3,000.
Just to be clear, okay?
And the photometrics will still work out, and that was, important that we
Yeah.
achieve the goal of lighting the parking lot.
Right.
But we are able to light it with a warmer quality of
Yeah.
light.
And just to help a few folks, so the cooler color, the less light fixtures you need, the warmer color, it doesn't push as far, and so you usually need to have more fixtures. So there's a balancing act between how many fixtures you can put on islands or on posts within a parking lot, and so that balance is done. But the 3,000 Kelvin lamp is what we're going for in the taller light fixtures. And it's for those at home, it's a pretty slender fixture. Hopefully it'll just blend into the sky when it's not on. I think that was the intent of the designer. I don't know for sure. But then I'd also like to talk about, have we confirmed that the Kelvin of the LEDs for the bollard and the other light are the same as this?
No, we have not.
Okay. Because again, I think what I want to caution is that whatever Kelvin we have within that area, you don't want to have a whole bunch of different ones.
Sure.
Otherwise, you'll see a yellow bulb here and a real clear bulb here. And I think that's what some of the people raised concerns with me.
That's a great point. The bollards that were identified here should be the same ones going in for the pedestrian access project that follows. And I think they're already installed in the CBD.
With the same lamps?
Yes.
Okay, so we can take a look at that. Anybody at home, if you want to see, can you verify that for us?
Sure.
Maybe we could toss a note out to everybody just to say that either the lamp that goes in the ones that we already have and the bollard is the same for the project we're currently using. Again, would seem to be what we want to do, is we want to come up with a fixture type and then we use it around town so that we have things that match.
This is a great time to be having that conversation
Yeah.
until the other thing to note about these lights, the three modern type lights that are being installed in the parking lot, is they don't have the uplighting, so they won't be broadcasting into the atmosphere, I guess, so light should be pretty well focused on.
So any of those that have light pollution concerns, the fixture does have a good light pollution rating, which pushes it down, tries to keep it focused within the property lines. The photometrics that you provided shows that we're not casting light outside of the property line, which is kind of an important issue. Again, I think the most important thing that we really need in our oversight of this project going forward, and in all projects going forward, is to really watch the Kelvin of the lamp.
That's a good point. I appreciate this coming back from the village board or from the residents, because on the one hand, sometimes we think just about either brightening things up. We want to make things as bright as we can with whatever fixtures we're using, and we're pretty limited. We don't use that many different fixtures in the village really, but I know that that's been a goal in the CBD in more recent years, is to make it brighter. So we haven't necessarily had this Kelvin consideration, which I understand and appreciate.
Yeah, again, I think we can achieve brighten it up a little bit to help us from a security perspective, if we can warm the lamps up. I think that we'll find a good balance between that. Chief, do you have an opinion on how the parking lot just to the east of downtown works out from a security perspective? The light levels there?
Where it's going in it?
The previous parking lot that we did a sustainable lot just east
Yes,
of the post office there.
Right, the lighting that's in there now.
Yeah.
I think that's a good example. We don't get complaints from the residents that are
Okay.
around there, that it goes out of
Right.
the parking zone. And I think it provides the lights, like Director Bailey said, it kind of focuses down.
Yeah.
But I had conversations with Director App and Ed about lowering it from 4,000. I'm not an expert, but
Yeah.
I saw the design.
Yeah.
And we did go from 4,000 to 3,000, and they picked the slimmer, so the heads don't protrude out.
This far, right.
Which I thought was a good, and I think Director App was able to get it from what they originally wanted, I think, which might have been 22 feet down. And that's including the cement base
Concrete
that's there.
base. And again, the concrete
Yeah.
base, if people see that, A lot of folks don't like the looks of the concrete base, but from snow removal and durability of the light fixture and the base and all that, it's really important to get those bases up
They do
like
attract
that.
vehicles.
Yeah.
And I think that
So-
3,000, I mean, I'm not an expert, but after a recent board meeting, when I went home, I purposely went down Forest Avenue, and Ed told me they were 2,400 Kelvin
Right.
on the bridge. And I looked at what that looked like versus what I think the 3,000 would look like there. So I thought that was a good comparison.
So it's safe to say that the team that's working this has tried to get to as close as we possibly could to the same level of Kelvin that we used and was approved on the bridge. Is that safe? Right? I think that's,
Yes.
in the research that I did after you gave me the information, I think that's achievable. I think that's it. Let me see. Oh, did Preservation get a chance to look at it by chance?
They've had, there was verbal contact with the chairperson.
Yeah.
And as I understand it, the council, I guess, their suggestion was to make it as soft
Yeah.
as possible, and that reflects
Soft,
this.
soft would be lower
Yeah.
Kelvin again.
And I think the
Yeah.
example was this Forest Avenue bridge lighting example, which they were directly involved in. They in fact chose 2,400, the
Right.
Preservation Commission.
So again, I think that the 2,400 to 3,000 is probably a really good range that'll help us provide, going forward, help us provide the right level of security light, as well as keep the warm glow that matches the gas lamps that we all cherish in town. Full fixtures. I believe that was all the things. Oh, I got one more for you, which might be a little more awkward, but that's my job. So we're paying about $92K for the permanent lighting, and that's
Yes.
what we're adding in change order. And then there was a $19,500 for temp lighting,
Yes,
and included in that was like $6,000 of removal.
that's of the 19,000,
Yeah.
the total package.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if it might make sense to talk with the board of the swim club and see if they wouldn't want us just to leave those there for them to have parking lot lighting. The only challenge is I know those are not a 3,000 Kelvin bulb.
We could investigate
Yeah,
that, sure.
they're already there, we've already put them in, we've spent the energy from a sustainable perspective. If somebody else could use them, that might be a good thing to do. They're letting us use the parking lot, or are we
Yeah.
renting it, or,
Yeah.
I don't know how we're doing that or not.
They're allowing us
To use it.
We've striped it.
Right.
and Included in the change order is just allowing for, I believe, the handicap parking spot to make them compliant with ADA and all of that.
Yeah, so again, I think there's a good
We'll
handoff
see
and a
what
good
the
relationship there.
opportunities are there.
Yeah, if you would take a look at that, even if we said we'll leave them there and they can relamp them to something a little bit warmer, that would be awesome.
The swim club's been a great partner in this project, and probably without the swim club, it's a matter of coincidence maybe that they're right next door, but I don't think it would be possible without being able to use
Yeah.
their parking lot, and they've been very cooperative.
Okay, that's all I have, Doug, thank you.
Any other questions, comments on this agenda item? If not, can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Loveston, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Gisa. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Sedovy.
Aye.
Trustee Lumsden.
Aye.
Trustee Pollock.
Aye.
Trustee Giza.
Motion's approved. Reports of departments, commissions, and trustee liaisons, are there any reports? Seeing none, ordinances and resolutions. 8A, a resolution of the Village of Riverside, Illinois, to amend the fund balance and reserve policy of 2019. I would ask our finance director to present that to us. Thank you.
Absolutely. We thoroughly review our policies often, and during the audit season, it was another chance to take a finer look at this specific policy. I recommend changing the policy for the assigned cash, assignment for cash flows to exclude all transfers, not just the transfers to capital projects. What this is really also excluding is the transfer to the police pension fund. In practice, this would increase or reduce that assignment by $345,000. That police pension fund is funded by a separate tax levy, which is a stable source of revenue, and having that assignment in the general fund as well as their fund balance in the capital fund, in the police pension fund, is almost double counting it.
Any questions of Director Johns? If not, could I have a motion?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Zetley.
Aye.
Trustee Lumsden.
Aye.
Trustee Pollak.
Aye.
Trustee Giza.
The motion is
Motion
approved. Ordinance is approved. A resolution is approved, excuse me. There are no considerations. Is there any new business for the village board?
I just
Trustee
have
Lumsden.
one item I wanted to talk about, and it has to do with the ad hoc committee in regards to the garages and the driveways. For those folks that have reached out to me with some frustrations, when that committee gets together, there will be opportunities for open public forum, and I hope and invite everybody to help participate in that so that we can get that one right.
Right, absolutely. As with any committee of the village, it's subject to the Open Meetings Act. There'll be 48 hours minimum posting of notice. Public will be invited to attend, and there'll be a spot on the agenda for public participation. There'll be minutes taken, and we'll, as we always do, we'll encourage the public to participate. Thank you, Trustee Lumsden. Any other new business? Seeing none, and we do have need for executive session, correct? But could I have a motion to adjourn the regular meeting of the board?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, or does that require?
Well, and we're adjourning to executive session for the purpose of discussing the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees.
Thank you.
Do we need a roll call?
We need a roll call?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Trustee Zetley.
Aye.
Trustee Lumsden.
Aye.
Trustee Pollak.
Aye.
Trustee Giza.
There we go.
Meeting adjourned.